unbelievable amount of money, right? We didn't have an office, we didn't have a staff. It was just me just traveling the country doing this pure grit, pure energy. And I was driven by core ideas and core principles that we should be thankful, not angry, to live in this country. Would you agree? We should be thankful. We should be kissing the ground and saying we are the luckiest human beings ever to exist, that we are able to live in this country. At this time, America is the greatest country ever to exist, period, bar none. Is the greatest country ever to exist, right?
He loved debate because he loved the truth and the people on the other side of the table. Oh my God. Because they all were made in God's image.
So I go to college campuses and there's a lot of error. We're all sinners. We all live in error. We as Christians are called to go into the public arena to correct error with truth. I'm far more interested in what God wants of me than what I want from God. I have the greatest job in the world. I couldn't be happier. Every day I feel as if what I'm saying, what I'm doing is making a difference. To be perfectly honest, I love the debate. I love the exploration of ideas. I think dialogue is a gift given to us by God. Prove me wrong. I have no notes. I have no AI. I have nothing. Tell me why you're correct. For 3 hours, I will sit there and everyone will watch. It's a gladiatorial match for the best ideas of the West.
And their needs changed him, and he changed them.
You see, you're being called upon to be a leader, let's say, that's not merely political. That's my understanding of it.
Correct. It's an enormous responsibility. Enormous. I also need to balance, as Christ would say, being as much truth, which of course I'm inclined towards, as love. What is God's plan when I go on a college campus? I just believe I will only tell truth, I will not compromise, and I'll love on the lost.
He was no stranger to threats, to being hated, to being doubted, but he went out anyway, for America, for you.
Turning Point will live longer than me. That's my mission.
He carried his love for the nation in his hand, and in the other.
Guys, I better get a fucking video like this, okay?
You have worked so hard, and I know a lot of you have seen, obviously, his videos on TikTok and all the stuff he does on campus, but no one gets to see him from my angle except for myself and our children. And the sacrifices that he made this year, he's amazing. I'm very blessed.
And I would not have been able to do any of it without Erica. When it comes to your child, you are tasked to protect them both physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Once you have kids, there is this primal thing that comes into you where if you think you have worked hard before, when you have to go feed a child and provide for a family, you are willing to go to the ends of the earth and push yourself in ways that you never thought possible. And that is your initial and most important task as a father.
Every single person in this building, we owe something to Charlie. He was a joyful warrior for our country. He loved America. He devoted himself tirelessly.
LOL, you get the Satan side destiny, not the Jesus love.
To making our country a better place. He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president. And so much of our success over the last 7 months is due to his efforts, his staffing, his support.
Just to be clear, you believe Turning Point USA is going to die without Charlie, Destiny, or is the fucking VP of USA appearing and all this media going to keep it alive? Stuff like this is very good in the short term. One of the things that's like, you can't really communicate it in movies, and you can't really communicate it, you can't communicate it in any media, but I think once you reach a certain age, you learn this. Like training montages and these hugely inspirational moments, or maybe it's just the way I'm built, they don't mean anything except for like a short-term burst of energy. Like all of the people that do the work long-term are people with discipline, who can grind, who can do stuff when they don't feel motivated to do it. Those are the people that really make the big changes, or that like can push for stuff over time. Charlie Kirk was a good worker. That guy had a drive, and he dedicated a lot of fucking time and energy and passion and intelligence. Like he was strategic with how he built TPUS and everything. So like these short bursts of energy, the best that can come from this, if you're trying to build something, is hopefully you find, you get somebody else who's like got that discipline, who's able to work in the long term over stuff like this. But these like short bursts of energy, in my opinion, don't do much.
Choose to be courageous. What can I do to save the country? You answer that question every single day, because you are doing the work to save this beautiful republic.
See, guys, it's both sides. Guys, look, it's both sides. It's literally both sides. Holy shit, both sides. Both sides. We absolutely need to condemn this immediately. I can't believe both sides are an issue here.
Can I just say there's a feeling that I got that I never thought I would have empathized with? I totally get the Nazi people when their perception is they see these Israeli Jews who are ungrateful for all the shit we send them and they just want to fuck with our shit politically. I get it. Okay? I get it. I get it.
You are doing something that is bigger
Donald Trump, cut the funding. Cut the funding for these guys.
than you.
He loved this country. He fought for this country.
We supported the Mujahideen in the Middle East. We can support Arab extremists again, motherfuckers, okay? You think an Iranian-backed Hamas is scary? All right? Wait until the Kirk's brigades show up, okay? With Charlie's smiling face on every fucking I'm just kidding, a video game. Video game!
Now we all live to honor his fight.
What young people especially are screaming at is they say, give me a structure that I can live my life by. And especially with young men, more challenging of them, more saying, you know what?
Careful, Israel is all that's protecting you right now. Bro, I don't know if I think some of my clips were blowing up on some part of the Israeli internet about me being critical of Israel or something, because I've gotten a lot of Israeli people sending me hate. I don't know where that came from, or maybe it's just in relation to the Charlie Kirk thing, but I had a bunch of them recently sending me shit you're turning your back on Israel, fuck you, blah blah blah. And it's like, okay,
honestly, I'm not going to talk down to you. Stop being a boy and become a man. You want to learn what that means? Come to church and I'll tell you what it means to become a man, because we have the greatest story ever told.
If everything completely goes away, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
I see conservative channels with thousands of comments all hating you and saying you condone and call for violence. I haven't seen a single clip of you actually calling for violence. I'm sure if you go back far enough, you can probably find one. But yeah, it's just like the Jimmy Kimmel thing, right? Like none of it is real. Do you think that Fuentes is as savvy as Kirk in building a movement like that, if he moderated correctly? That's the scary part I feel about Nick Fuentes. I think so. I think he could. Yeah, I think he could. The Kanye shit set him back. We just have to send that Kanye torpedo at Nick anytime he gets too big, and Nick can't help but take the bait. Kanye wants to build a campaign? I'm in! No money behind him, though? By the time we emerge from all of this, I hope you motherfuckers realize the money shit is anywhere near as important. The funding, the big donors, all that shit is not anywhere near as important as people think it is. If you have the followers, the money will come, okay? Jesus. Imagine somebody fucked up the stop point here.
Well.
Jesus Christ.
I love you, Charlie.
Can you not use features like super chats on YouTube while the demonetization thing's happening?
Family,
nope.
And everyone you touched with your love. Thank you.
Mr. Medicare had a meltdown on his stream. What? Mr. Medicare?
Well, welcome to the stream, chat. You know, it's a bit of a somber mood with this one. So, let's start it off.
I heard he crashed out about me and my kid and my family for 30 minutes on this stream. Is it true? I didn't watch this at all.
Right. Charlie Kirk was a good man. I am not. I don't think many of us are, to be honest with you. Personal, private, professional, finding a good balance between all of them, giving it an honest effort in what you're doing and who you are and how you present yourself, makes for a great slogan on a t-shirt, but it's very difficult to actually walk the walk.
Oh, yeah.
In life,
nice. Destiny.
We come across tragedy and misery quite often. And because we're decent...
Hasn't this guy been dying of cancer for 7 years? What's going on with this dude? Also, never mind. It's a human thing to do, I guess. I just would like to point out, okay, that these guys are doing the same thing that they would make fun of other parents for doing when their kid gets killed and my son was an angel. I was he probably wasn't. I doubt he was. Especially if this kid's 15, 16. No, 15, 16-year-old's a fucking angel, all right? You just didn't know him well enough. But, you understand, parents are going to do that. Nobody wants to remember their friend or their child as, an imperfect being in death, right? But like, come on, let's chill, okay? My God.
Charlie cared deeply about others. Charlie looked forward to the next adventure. For over a decade, we created countless memories. From hunting alligators in Louisiana, to eating seal in Greenland, to countless nights on the patio Mar-a-Lago as President Trump played Phantom of the Opera. When President Trump started talking about the importance of Greenland to our national security, Charlie was one of the first people who thought it would be a great idea to visit. He was also one of the first to fall in the snow upon arrival. But without a beat, Charlie got up and continued onwards with a smile. No matter what, Charlie always marched forward. He embodied the MAGA warrior, never backing down. Charlie was all Trump. When the president had an idea, no matter how big it was, Charlie was always willing to make it happen.
Like, yes, we get it. Yeah, you guys were in a fucking cult. We understand that. We know.
One time, on a trip to Louisiana, Charlie forced the group to leave early and fly to New York City. He had to rush and get to Fox News for an interview with Judge Jeanine. When we arrived in New York, it turned out Jeanine wasn't even in New York. She was filming remotely. The real reason Charlie was in a hurry, he had dinner plans with the woman who would become the love of his life and the mother of his two beautiful children. Erica?
Can I? Oh my God. Okay, I need to do this better. I'm trying to learn how to victimize myself more, okay? I think this is an essential part of media strategy. Hassan is so good at it. He does this every day, okay? I can't do it. I hate talking about myself like this. Connor came in yesterday. I victimized myself a little bit. I hate it. I hate being treated like a victim. It drives me fucking insane. But I guess since somebody heard me talking last night, somebody did me the favor of not only swatting me this morning, but also my parents too. So thank you for that. I know 100% for sure now, my mom and dad are very safe. There are absolutely no bombs in their house. I've never been more sure than right now that my parents' house is bomb-free. And the sergeant and for the Miami Police Department, she usually calls me when I got swatted to tell me, like, hey, so just checking, are you killing your girlfriend? Are you jumping off your balcony? I'm like, nope, not doing any of those today. But they still have to send officers by to do like a welfare check because they can't ignore calls like that. So that's why my intro screen was like 15 minutes. Also, can you pretend I said all this with tears? Because I'm crying and it bothers me a lot. There, okay. All right, there. Okay, that's my daily victimization, all right?
We love you, we support you, and we will always be here for you.
Be less ironic next time. I don't know how to do this. I'll peel an onion first, okay?
After we won the last election, the presidential transition kicked into high gear. Charlie knew the importance of hiring loyal patriots for this administration, and Charlie worked every single day to ensure we got the very best of them in the door. Countless individuals.
You get swatted often? A few times in the past year, I guess, since the firefighter dude, yeah.
Are currently in key roles across.
Yeah, they were actively knocking at my door, and I had to go out and answer questions while they were actively standing there.
Our government because of Charlie Kirk. Today, I want to ask every person in this arena and the millions more watching around the world, will you make sure that we continue to build upon what Charlie Kirk started? I want to ask each and every one of you today, if you believe in America, stand up. If you believe Charlie Kirk represented the best of us, stand up.
Did the police try and find and go after the swatters at least? For every swatting I've dealt with, it's usually local police to deal with it, and they don't really have the resources. I don't even know if they have the capability to go after, because, I mean, like, imagine if somebody's making like I don't like to give advice on how to do it, but if somebody's making a call through like a VPN in another country or whatever, how are you gonna, you need like Interpol and like thousands of subpoenas, and if it's a company that doesn't keep logs, right, there's just no way to really know.
If you believe in the power of Charlie Kirk, his mission, his courage, his conviction, stand up. Charlie we miss you. We love you. We wish you were here with us today. We will never forget you. Rest in peace, my brother.
We are going to be hearing from President Trump, Vice President Vance, and other Trump administration officials.
Welcome to the stage,
Stephen Miller.
Oh my God. Legit question from a European. Why are they worshiping Charlie Kirk like this? Because the greater they can build this guy up, the more they can demonize the other side for having killed him.
Hello, Turning Point. Hello, Patriots. Hello to our fearless president, Donald J. Trump. And hello to millions of Americans all across this land who are gathered in sadness and sorrow to mourn Charlie Kirk, but also to dedicate ourselves to finishing his mission and achieving victory in his name.
Isn't this wildly inappropriate to have so many high-ranking officials speaking at a religious event like this? There was a thing called the Hatch Act. I don't even know where that applies. I don't think we care about any of that shit anymore. Like, this admin doesn't give a fuck about any of the rules or anything, so it doesn't matter.
The day that Charlie died, the angels wept, but those tears have been turned into fire in our hearts. And
I also just want you to say, I know that it's not as popular anymore because we kind of moved on from hating Arabs, but I hate all of you motherfuckers. I hate all you motherfuckers. Well, not you guys, I guess. But I used to argue with conservatives so much who would say, like, oh no, like every single Arab that hates the United States, all of it is about jihad, all of it is religious, all of it is whatever. And it's like, you know, if you were like secular and you listen to some American politician speak, like, it sounds kind of similar, right? Like, I think there's other things driving these people than just religion. Well, what about the words they use? Like, yeah, they use religious speech sometimes, but like, there's other shit that's driving them. Like, these speeches are crazy. The example I would always bring up was like, I think Bush, before he went to war in Iraq, I think he said, like, I prayed and I consulted the Bible or whatever for my decision before I went to war. And I was like, if you were like a non-Christian, non-Western person listening to that, I think you could hear that, go like, is this a holy war? What?
Fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend or understand. When I see Erica and her strength and her courage, I'm reminded of a famous expression. The storm whispers to the warrior.
That's his remark about oligarchs in Russia capable of assassinating Putin. Contrary to claims that Russian oligarchs might assassinate Putin if he went too far, the scenario is highly unlikely. Putin has eliminated genuine political rivals, constructed a loyal oligarchy. Today, most oligarchs function as little more than middle management. They hold no real political power, serving only as long as they can contribute to the economy. The arrangement reflects the corporatist nature of Putin's Russia. Much like classic corporatist regimes, such as Mussolini's Italy or the late Soviet Union in its own way, the state integrates all major economic actors into a hierarchical structure where they serve the system rather than act independently. Instead of autonomous capitalist elites, Russia's oligarchs are state-dependent functionaries. Their wealth and status rely on the Kremlin's favor and can be stripped away at any moment. Fuck, this guy contradicts me in my own subreddit. Are you crazy? I'm just kidding.
That you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm.
Oh, is this a religious event? I don't know if memorial services are religious, or maybe I've been to a bunch of religious events as an atheist. For conservatives, every event is a religious event.
Erica is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello. Our ancestors built the cities. They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry. Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark. We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity. You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy. And we will devote the rest of our lives to finishing the causes for which Charlie gave his last measure of devotion. You cannot defeat us. You cannot slow us. You cannot stop us. You cannot deter us. We will carry Charlie and Erica in our heart every single day and fight that much harder because of what you did to us. You have no idea the dragon you have awakened. You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization, to save the West, to save this republic. Because our children are strong, and our grandchildren will be strong, and our children's children's children will be strong. And what will you leave behind? Nothing. Nothing. To our enemies, you have nothing to give, you have nothing to offer, you have nothing to share, but bitterness. We have beauty, we have light, we have...
It's funny because, like, the worry used to be when we would talk like this, it's like, is it okay that we're making, like, other countries or other people in the world out to be, like, our enemies? Isn't that kind of extreme? And now we moved on to, when he's talking about enemies and everything, he's talking about other Americans. That should be deeply concerning, but at this point, we just don't care about anything in this country anymore at all, so...
Goodness, we have determination, we have vision, we have strength. We built the world that we inhabit now, generation by generation, and we will defend this world. We will defend goodness, we will defend light, we will defend virtue. You cannot terrify us, you cannot frighten us, you cannot threaten us. Because we are on the side of goodness, we are on the side of God. And to my friend Charlie, to my brother Charlie, I know you are looking at us right now. I know you're watching Erica right now. I know you're watching your children right now. And I promise you, my friend, I promise you, my brother, we will prove worthy of your sacrifice. We will prove worthy of your time on earth. We will make you proud. We will finish the job. We will defeat the forces of darkness and evil. And we will stand every day for what is true, what is beautiful, what is good. And we will achieve victory for our children, for our families, for our civilization, and for every patriot who stands with us. God bless you. God bless Turning Point. God bless Erica. God bless the Kirk family. God bless our heroes. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
That was Stephen Miller. There's President Trump, who's going to be speaking. Susie Wiles is coming up.
Please welcome to the stage, Susie Wiles.
Okay, hold on. I want to admit another embarrassing thing, okay? Somebody said, have you ever thought of emigrating before? Is emigrating a real word? I know people use emigration, but I feel like you can use immigration at any point where you could use emigrate. Like, emigrate is to go from a country, right? But I feel like you could also say you immigrated from a country, no? Why the fuck do people, what does the word emigrate even mean? Like, oh, I've never heard somebody say like, oh, that guy in America, he emigrated from France, right? Wouldn't you say, oh no, he immigrated from France? Who the fuck says emigrate ever? Like, I know you guys are putting the proper use, but I don't think you can't immigrate from a country. Yeah, but that's how everybody says it. Can I play games while I listen to this? Is that possible?
Good afternoon, and what an honor to be here.
What an honor.
Those of you who loved Charlie and love Erica. I was blessed to work with Charlie these past 2 years. And I know he is looking down now, rejoicing.
Is he?
Because his life...
My God. Do you want to run and saying, actually, I think we do have that clip. Skylar, I think we do have that clip. Do you want to run that clip?
Candace Owens. Candace. Get over here. You've been a bad girl. Remember when Tucker said that? Candace is going to get spanked. Her husband won't spank her. I got to be the one to spank her. Her husband is not doing his duty. Now I got to spank Candace Owens. I got to do her husband's job for him because he won't put her in line. Candace, time for your spanking.
Okay.
Time for your spanking. You've been an obnoxious feminist bitch. Time to get spanked.
True.
What do you mean? And say
this is the power neo-Nazi couple that I need, okay? You thought Destiny and LS was weird? We need Fuentes and Candace Owens, okay, ruling over the country. That's what I need. I'm ready for my diverse fascist state, okay?
His words, his courage to speak the truth about God, family, and country built the most powerful youth movement in our time. Many of you knew Charlie better than I did, and if you did, you experienced the gift of being lifted by his conviction and his joy. For Charlie, making America great again meant bringing young people to this movement and making sure they knew they belonged. Like our president says, it's a movement of common sense, and it makes sense. Love your God, love your family, love your country.
That's not actually the clip they reacted to. Fuck. Well, now you've ruined my day.
And help the next generation live into those values boldly. Through Turning Point, Charlie gave us countless young Americans who had their first turning point the moment they decided to stand up, speak out, and make America all that she could be. When the president's 2024 campaign partnered with Turning Point, Charlie did not just promise, he delivered. Charlie and his team embraced the assigned mission completely, and they didn't meet expectations. They shattered them and blew them out of the water. President Trump's victory, winning the popular vote in every swing state, was powered by young people, most brand new to politics.
him because the elected has the same certificate as he does. But I think for me is I feel embarrassed for him because in these attacks, what he does, and I think with the likes of Nancy Mace and whoever that Randy guy.
Wait, I am so confused. I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait, where is she from? Or she's from is it from initially Somalia? Does this sound like a Russian accent or like Eastern European? Am I crazy, or is that what Somalians sound like?
Likes of Nancy Mace and whoever that Randy guy is, they expose themselves for how stupid they are. And that is embarrassing for us as a country because these are people who are elected to positions of leadership.
You literally had a show with a Somalian? Okay, I don't think the average Somalian sounds like fucking Jay-Z, okay? I don't think Karantos had the average Somalian accent. Okay, chill, Jesus.
He's supposed to be the president of the United States who's heading off to Europe to represent us. When he does, he's uneducated enough to understand that members of Congress can't be impeached. You know, when you have Nancy and Randy saying, you know, we're on it, we're going to impeach her. When they're saying they're going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen. What that displays for not just Americans, but folks on internet.
That's an East African accent, lots of emphasis on the Z sounds. Not to be sexist or racist or bigoted, but I wonder if I'm just not used to hearing women speak with this accent because it's usually male leaders or male politicians, maybe? Yeah.
National platform is that our country is being led by idiots. And that is not something that we should be comfortable with as Americans. And that's not something that should make us proud. And so in this moment, I feel great sadness as an
Wow, Heretic, thanks for the $13 donut, buddy.
American that these are the kind of people that the world gets to see representing us.
So what do you think is at play here then? If these people are, as you say, idiots and don't understand the kind of basic responsibilities they either have and the powers that they have in Congress or in the presidency, what do you think is the animating factor behind why they come?
Now that you mention it, her accent sounds similar to Ukrainian Anna. Yeah, she sounds Eastern European to me.
After you with such venom and vitriol.
Yeah, it's to gin up hate and then to turn it around, to be able to raise money, to rattle their base. And I think ultimately is to get enough people to bully us into silence. And I would have hoped by now that they have learned that one thing, they are not going to succeed in silencing my voice. I have the honor and privilege of representing Minnesotans who I love, who've welcomed my family, who helped raise and educate me, and who have given me the opportunity, the privilege, the honor of representing them in the United States Congress. So that is what I bring with me every single day as I walk on those halls, knowing that there are great Americans who have faith in me to carry their voice, to fight, to make sure that they are able to afford their lives. You know, this is a president right now that's presiding over an economy that is not working for anyone. It's getting worse for everyone. He has no understanding of how tariffs work and how those are hidden taxes on Americans. I represent Minnesota, where our farmers are feeling severe economic pain because we have, $22 billion in.
Has this filtered down to consumer prices yet? I've had a couple friends that work in like logistics shipping. One person that I just spoke with works, I don't remember what they say. They put together like giant shipments for like defense manufacturers. And they told me that like the prices on stuff on like the list for the stuff that they order has like anywhere from 10 to 50% on a lot of the different things they get. I wonder if has this worked down in that dramatic of a way to consumers?
In trade with Canada. So we are in pain as Minnesotans, not only because our healthcare is being threatened.
If Trump gets blown out in midterms, what does that help us? It doesn't really help us much other than maybe signal that the American people aren't on board with stuff. But the issue is that we don't have. The issue is that the president is not really governing as a president. He's governing as an authoritarian dictator, meaning he's not like trying to use Congress to get stuff done. He's just doing everything with the executive branch, and that means that he doesn't need Congress. And it means that we have Congress. I don't know what it matters. It's like we can't block executive actions with Congress. We can impeach him over and over again, I guess.
Not only there's food insecurity that is under threat right now, not only are we dealing with ICE terrorizing people and creating job shortages, but we're also feeling the economic pain of what these tariffs are doing to the economic vitality of our incredible state.
So, Congresswoman, I do want to go back to this week, though, because after Trump attacked you, Laura Loomer, she got on Twitter and she tweeted that you should be
That was Charlie's army.
Will the Senate ever go down majority? No clue, but I think for impeachment, I think you need a simple, am I making this up? It's a simple majority in the House and a super majority in the Senate, right?
And he made sure they understood the stakes.
So a simple majority in the House means you can impeach, but then you need to convict in the Senate in order to get him kicked out of office, so.
They outworked, they out-hustled, and outperformed.
What does impeachment even do, though? It's like a really big, you're bad, unless you actually convict in the Senate, then they get kicked out.
Everyone else. Charlie just didn't help. He made the winning difference. I promise you that. And I believe Charlie is still urging us not to sit back, not to be quiet, but to carry on his mission forward, loudly, proudly, and with the same conviction he showed. So I ask you, let us honor Charlie in the best way possible by continuing his work, by...
Is midterms also for the Senate? So midterms and so all of the elections for Congress happen every 2 years. If you are a representative, meaning you're part of the lower body of our Congress, of our Parliament, Parliament and Congress interchangeable. If you're in the lower house, every 2 years, every single person runs for office, right? Because congressional things are 2 years, but the Senate is 6-year terms, and so they're on like a rolling basis. So some midterms or some some elections on your elections are going to be like really favorable for us, and then other elections are going to be really not favorable. Like there might be a lot of blue seats up for election, which means we can't really win much, or in other years there might be a lot of red seats up for election, which could be good for us, like that. Yeah, I don't know if that made sense.
Building on the foundation he laid, and by making sure this generation knows that this movement is their home. May God bless Erica and their beautiful children, and may he hold them in the palm of his hands always.
What was the Senate's excuse last time? It was just too late in his term or something, so they didn't vote to convict. Last time, the Senate said that they would convict to impeach. However, he was already out of office, and McConnell and others said that they didn't feel like they had the power to convict him after he left Congress, which was a bullshit thing, but...
We will soon be hearing from Vice President...
If Republicans win the election, what happens then? Nothing will change. I mean, it's not, like I said, they don't really do anything with Congress. A dictator doesn't need legislation to rule. He just rules via a pen, right? That's all he does.
We will soon be hearing from Vice President Vance and President Trump. Next up, Tucker Carlson is next. Tucker Carlson is next up. I appreciate you being here for our coverage.
Dems' chance of taking the Senate back anyways next year is very grim. Yeah, I heard the map is bad, but I haven't actually looked at it.
We're going to hear from Tucker Carlson next.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tucker Carlson.
Why does the American system centralize so much power in the executive? I mean, it really doesn't, I don't think. I feel like there's probably less power in the executive, I think, than like the old, like parliamentary, what did you call a republic? The opposite of republic, a parliamentary monarch, a monarchical, there's a name for this, I forget. But the issue is just that like this president has decided that he has so much, is it just monarchy? Well, like a monarchy plus a parliament, there's a name for that. Is it a constitutional monarchy? Our president is not supposed to have that much power, but this president has decided that he will have that much power. And when the executive makes a decision, it really doesn't matter what form of government you have. The executive technically can always do what they want because it's the executive. It's the executor of things. Do you think Hutch has a point about Dems having low popularity? What was his point about it? I mean, they do, right?
Oh, that made me emotional. Made me emotional to see that. Susie Wiles had tears in her eyes, which you don't often see in politics, but it's real. This is the most unbelievable thing I think I've ever seen. And I don't...
This is a thing I agree with. If I do a canvassing thing next year, that's a big if right now. Somebody said there are no good years for Dems in the Senate because we decided we cannot win more than 50 seats. I think that if I do another thing like this, I think that what I really want to do is I'm going to find like a +5 or +6 Republican district or Republican Senate state or whatever. And then I want to just like go balls to the wall on something like that. Like a place that the Democrats have given up on, but I don't think it's like completely and totally outside of, the scope of ever winning. I think that would be I think that would be an interesting fight to take up, yeah.
Often see in politics, but it's real. This is the most unbelievable thing I think I've ever seen. And I don't...
Whatever happens next in America, I hope it's in this direction because God is here and you can feel it. And Charlie would have loved this, not just because he loved large groups of people, but because ultimately he was a Christian evangelist. And it actually reminds me of my favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking.
Dethrone Bobert? I don't think I could go after Bobert because if she confronted me in real life, I would always give in. I'm just kidding. Stop! Delete the VOD. Sexist.
About the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it, and they just go bonkers. They hate it, and they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking.
Wait, sorry, did I miss a Jew-Israeli joke there? I missed that. Hold on.
Ultimately, he was a Christian evangelist. You can feel it. And Charlie would have loved this, not just because he loved large groups of people, but because ultimately he was a Christian evangelist. And it actually reminds me of my favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it, and they just go bonkers. They hate it, and they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem.
Tell me that's not a serial killer laugh.
Kill him. That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Everything is inverted, and the Beatitudes tell it, I think, the most crisply. Everything is sort of the opposite of what you think it's going to be. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. That is true, and you can feel it here. The thing about Charlie's message, I thought a lot about it, and I'm trying not to be emotional because in addition to everything
Well, thanks, Tansud Obama.
else, he was a wonderful man and a decent man, and one of those rare people you meet who you just groove with in conversation and have these very intense conversations that you don't stop thinking about, which is my experience with him.
Dude, what? I'm watching so much stuff upstream. I'm forgetting when I'm watching on or off stream because I have to pre-watch everything. Holy shit! Wait, what? Bro, some of the Hassan shit that this guy says is actually crazy. Wait, were these on? These might have been Awk tweets this morning. Did I watch this? When was this?
Priority.
September 21st. Oh no, I don't think.
The priority. Imagine saying one disagreement, leave. Hassan is talking about needing to unite. I will never unite with this.
Oh, one thing that might be a little breaking, not for the majority of Hassan fans, but there's going to be some outer perimeter of Hassan fans who are actually like, hey, like the Trump stuff, isn't it actually pretty bad? Maybe we should do something about this, but Hassan's like so personally hateful of me. I wonder if there's going to be, I feel like there's going to be some members, but I'm just like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't know, man.
I will never, the priority. Imagine saying one disagreement, leave. Hassan is talking about needing to unite. I will never unite with Destiny. The best thing he can do is basically stop attacking me and privately live out the rest of his days in shame.
Okay.
Do you understand? Are you fucking insane? Yeah, let me unite with the cyber stalker with a fucking cult that has been up my asshole, literally aligning with Republicans and neo-Nazis for the
I like how he just lies with him. It's just lie after lie. This is like the boring, tiring thing. Like it's not even like attacks from like, oh god, this guy disagrees with this or this guy hates this or whatever. It's just like lie after lie. Like up your ass. Like you were the largest political streamer on Twitch. We're gonna comment on it, of course. But like up your ass. Like cyber stalking? It's cyber stalking to talk about your political takes? It just feels that way because you can't defend any of them.
Asshole, literally aligning with Republicans and neo-Nazis.
Aligning with Republicans and neo-Nazis? This guy would constantly retweet neo-Nazis that would make fun of me. This guy would, what was that one guy on, fuck, I'm not gonna remember their names. I think he did it a few days ago. With that, the Luke Gray guy or whatever, some crazy MAGA weirdo fucking dude that he watched the things because he likes to laugh at it when people bully me. Yeah, but this guy does this constantly. Like, I have never, even at my most platforming Nazi point in my life, I've never, ever aligned with Nazis, ever. Like, I'm constantly debating, fighting with, disagreeing.
The past fucking 6-7 years at this point, that has tried to actively deplatform me, demanded doxing his fucking enemies, whether they were formerly his allies or not, to turn around and let me just fucking sing Kumbaya with that guy, who's also a serial sex pest. Get the fuck out of here.
Base.
Go deal with him. Tell him to be productive. Tell him to fucking lock in on the real dangers. Instead of, once again...
Like, tell him to lock in on the real dangers. Like, how could he... Like, I know it's all a performance. It's a joke, right? But like, this is a guy who spent the last 2 years saying that, you know, Kamala and Trump basically would have been the same thing. He doesn't really give a fuck who you vote for one way or another. It's the duopoly. Anybody that says duopoly, you can basically ignore every political opinion they have in the United States.
Refusing to let up. He said he would become a Trump supporter if Trump takes you out. His politics is just fuck Hassan. Exactly.
What is this?
Did I forget the president? No, I did not forget the fucking president. I voted for the president. I'm just not telling you who I voted for. I am not going to influence your opinion in any direction unless it is to vote for Trump, in which case I will tell you not to do it.
So fucking cringe.
Exactly.
Lock in though, guys. Lock in.
Become a Trump supporter if Trump takes you out. His politics is just fuck Hassan. Exactly.
Like, no, what? I said it was. I say this as a joke. Like, seriously? Like, remember, these are the people who said that for the last 10 years, like, I'm just ready to become a Republican. Like, give me a break.
And for a lot of child-brained losers out there, that unironically is all it takes. And he's played a formative role in creating this environment of people that just, like, professionally misunderstand me.
He does this thing again and again and again, always the out of context, out of context, out of context. There's a reason why Ethan's piece landed on him so well. It's because Ethan stole all of his research from my subreddit, right? We don't take anything out of context. If there's something out of context, then feel free to, you know, let us know. The funny thing is, I guess I think I'll keep bringing this up. The funny thing is that, like, I'm the only person that will give any charity to Hassan when he says things that other people take out of context, right? The two biggest examples I remember are when he called that one audience member shitskin. And that's like I feel like that's an anti-Indian insult that I used to see on 4chan. But when I listened to the full clip, it just sounded like he was calling some guy. He was looking for a word for like pimple face or acne ridden or whatever. And then the whole, when he said that streaming is a soul destroying job, way more than like a minimum wage job, something like this. I'm like, I get what he's saying. Obviously, he phrased it poorly. I'm literally the only person on the entire internet who gave him any charity when it came to that. Even when Ludwig made a joke about that, Hassan lost his fucking mind.
Okay. This is a dedicated effort, a fairly sophisticated smear campaign that has taken years and years. Whenever you see a fucking random dipshit out in the wild who's like, Hassan is pure evil and his politics are the worst thing I've ever seen, Nick Fuentes is better, that's, you know, you can thank Destiny for that.
One of my... these aren't even my criticisms of him.
Many of those guys also don't stay on Destiny's side. They come in for the resentment towards the left that he foments, and then they become Asmongold fans, or even go beyond Asmongold. They become Nick Fuentes fans. His son is a great example of this.
Like, does he think that Nathan is radicalized in my community? Like I have this secret far right or I've got this left to right ultra Nazi radicalization pipeline. Like, oh yeah, Destiny, the big Nazi guy, let's go. Like, oh yeah, I know that dude with his extremist far right politics. That's the one that we're gonna watch. He keeps saying it was your Discord. He's made a fantasy out of your son in Discord. Wait, does he really? No shot.
He has played a formative role in Twitch becoming as right-wing as it has.
Like, how fucking pathetic are you? How weak are your politics? How ineffective are you as a leader? Like, I feel like at that point, you need to just step the fuck aside. If I am radicalizing your platform and I'm not even on it, I'm not even on Twitch, and you were the largest streamer on Twitch who was the most clouded, the most networked, one of the highest earners, and somehow I took that from you? Are you okay, bro? Destiny asking about your case. I hope you can answer. How long can that girl dodge her subpoenas before the judge or whoever says that's enough? Who knows? I think theoretically, in the world of theory, in the world of legal theory, I think she could theoretically dodge subpoenas and depositions all the way up to the trial and just show up at the trial. I don't know if most judges would look favorably upon that. I feel like you run a big risk at summary judgment of getting your case tossed if that was the case, but I'm sure it might also depend on the good faith showing from either side as well, right? Like, she's on notice that she's been subpoenaed. She's made statements publicly about it. The plaintiff in this case, she also knows that we're trying to subpoena and depose her, and they either misrepresented to us and lied, or they changed their mind. They said they were representing her, Abby MC initially, and then they changed their mind on it. So I don't know if they just didn't want to accept service for her, or if they're playing some fucking stupid game or what. But yeah. But like I said, at this point, I think they're trying to just draw it out as long as they possibly can. It's just fucking stupid.
He destroyed a subreddit that...
Does the plaintiff at some point have to admit that Abby appears mentally incapable of being a witness? Doesn't matter. When white women are on a mission, the only people around them are yes queeners. All the men around them will incessantly support them and will never be critical. All the women around them will incessantly support them and never be critical. So she probably thinks she's on a fucking mission from God.
people used to go to figure out what the fuck was going on Twitch. Live stream fails. It's unusable now. It's literally owned and operated by one of his orbiters. That's the main mod.
He keeps pushing this theory too. How many times on stream have I seen like a misquote of me, be it like on the top of LSF with like 4,000 fucking comments, and I'm like, why the fuck is this thing allowed to stand? But somehow I own LSF, whatever. Destiny, does this make you feel like the court system has flaws for this kind of suing? The only thing that I don't like, the only thing that makes this more complicated is just one person being a celebrity and the other person like being abusive, I would say. So it's like, it's a very unique situation. And then it being like sex related means that there's like other heightened weird things around it. Destiny, if they use any of Abby's statements to address the motion to dismiss, you guys should motion to compel her to be deposed. Do we need to file a motion for that? I feel like we already have a right to that, to depose them. Like that's already been part of our back and forths. We're trying to serve her. But she's already admitted over and over again that she's dodging it, right? Whatever. Given how meritless JD's case has been, do you regret retaining your current top shelf lawyers where normal lawyers could have done the trick? Well, that's mean. I don't want to say I regret them. The law firm I've worked with has been incredibly professional, awesome. Like, I haven't regretted using them. I probably could have went with something cheaper in retrospect, but I didn't know. I don't know. I have no experience in civil litigation or what that would ultimately look like or anything. So, go over the motion to dismiss on stream. How long is it? $132 items on our docket. This case isn't even, what, 8 months old? Was this case filed in February? February 18th. It's unbelievable. $20 pages. You said this was short. Introduction. As Stephen Bunnell, professionally known as Destinies. Destinies. Did I just say that plural? The judge just takes a glance at the number of filings and denies the dismissal. LeMayo. I've had somebody email me that. It's all like, you don't really know for anything, right? But I have had... there was a guy who was talking to me, and he said sometimes like it can be harder to win on motion for summary judgment or whatever if there's like a really busy docket because it looks like there's a highly contentious case back and forth, and judges really don't like being overturned, and they don't like if you issue something that gets flipped down the road, or if it looks like it's a highly contentious case, then deciding the matter at summary judgment might not feel as appropriate, but. As Stephen Bunnell, professionally known as Destiny, is consistently maintained from the outset of this case, the court lacks subject matter jurisdiction over this dispute. Plaintiff's amended complaint does nothing to cure this fatal defect. For that reason, in the court's September 2nd, 2025 order granting plaintiff's motion for leave to file an amended complaint, Magistrate Judge Torres invited Bunnell to file the instant motion to dismiss pursuant to Rule 12b-1 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Count 1 of the amended complaint for Bunnell's alleged violation of 15 U.S.C. 6851 Cardi provides the sole basis for federal question jurisdiction, yet count 1 fails as a matter of law. Evidence inconsistent with the allegations in the amended complaint conclusively establishes that Bunnell transmitted the video depicting plaintiff on just one occasion to an individual who used the screen name Rose in April of 2022. That sole transmission of the video preceded the effective date of the Cardi statute by nearly 6 months. Because the statute is not retroactive, this court lacks subject matter jurisdiction over plaintiff's federal claim and should decline to exercise supplemental jurisdiction over plaintiff's pendent state law claims. Conceding that Bunnell's sole transmission of the video to Rose could not serve as the basis for subject matter jurisdiction, plaintiff amended her complaint on September 5th, 2025 to add an allegation that Bunnell transmitted the video to an individual who used the screen name Abby MC sometime after March 2023. Plaintiff's new allegation pertaining to an alleged transmission to Abby MC is not consistent with the evidence. In fact, the evidence demonstrates just the opposite. Bunnell did not transmit the video to Abby MC at any time. The reason why, just to review, the reason why this is in federal court is because Pixie decided to sue me under some federal statute, but the federal statute wasn't active when she decided to sue me under that federal statute. But they lied about the date that I communicated with with Rose, and that's how they snuck it in to make it like survive any initial defect. But now at this place, or at this point, I mean, like, they have no more evidence. They haven't found anything. They've been fishing like crazy through a whole bunch of other random stupid shit, and yeah, this is where we're at now. Plaintiff's new allegation concerning ABMC relies exclusively on a declaration and exhibit purportedly from ABMC that plaintiff filed with the court on the day before the June 3rd, 2025 evidentiary hearing on plaintiff's motion for preliminary injunction, a month after that motion was fully briefed. Oh, I didn't even realize that. It was literally the day before. What a fucking joke. Plaintiff contends that the ABMC declaration establishes that Bonnell transmitted the video to ABMC in 2023, but her declaration does no such thing. Plaintiff, whose attorney also represent ABMC, could have submitted proof from ABMC of any such transmission from Bonnell, yet she has not done so, and for good reason. As explained below, the evidence demonstrates that the transmission never occurred, and they admitted as much in our hearing that we're still waiting for the seal to be decided on. Plaintiff has been on notice of Bonnell's jurisdictional challenges since he filed his answer and affirmative defenses on March 14th, 2025. Bonnell repeated the challenge in his April 25th, 2025 opposition to plaintiff's motion for preliminary injunction. For more than 6 months, plaintiff has had the opportunity to demonstrate through admissible evidence that Bonnell actually transmitted the video to ABMC or to anyone else after the effective date of the Carty statute. She has failed to do so, yet makes allegations in her amended complaint that are wholly inconsistent with the evidence and the record. Indeed, plaintiff failed to produce her star witness, ABMC, to testify at the June 3rd, 2025 evidentiary hearing, depriving Bonnell of the opportunity to cross-examine her and test the contentions in her declaration. Worse, for more than 4 months, ABMC has dodged and evaded service of a valid subpoena. According to ABMC, plaintiff's counsel, who is also her attorney, advised her to continue to evade service and just to submit evidence anyway. Plaintiff has not and cannot submit any evidence to establish that Bonnell transmitted the video after the effective date of the statute. In fact, to date, plaintiff has submitted no evidence apart from ABMC's unsworn statement to demonstrate that Bonnell transmitted the video to ABMC ever. Wait, I thought all statements were sworn statements. What's the difference between a sworn statement and an unsworn statement? Bonnell, on the other hand, has conclusively established that no such transmission occurred. The court should dismiss plaintiff's amended complaint accordingly. Factual and procedural background. Unsworn is not sworn. Wow, thanks. On April 3rd, 2025, plaintiff filed a motion for temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction against Bonnell. On April 25th, Bonnell filed his opposition to plaintiff's motion. Among other arguments, Bonnell opposed plaintiff's motion on the grounds that the court lacks subject matter jurisdiction over this action because plaintiff failed to adequately allege that Bonnell transmitted the video after October 1st, 2022, the effective date of the Carty statute. Specifically, Bonnell established that his sole transmission to of the video, to Rose occurred on April 2022, nearly 6 months prior to Carty's effective date. On April 29, 2025, counsel for Bonnell received a letter from plaintiff's attorney, Carlos A. Garcia Perez, indicating that he and his law firm represented ABMC specifically pertaining to Stephen K. Bonnell II. They did indeed send this. Just 3 days later, on May 2nd, 2025, plaintiff filed her reply brief in support of her motion for preliminary injunction. A day after her reply papers were due, on May 3rd, plaintiff filed a declaration purportedly from ABMC along with exhibits. Somebody said the main difference is the requirement of an oath and the presence of an official. Sworn statements require an oath and an official, while unsworn statements are signed under penalty of perjury without the need for an official's presence. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Somebody said, how long do you think it'll take you to recover from the loss of reputation that this case is? I'm not actually as worried about that anymore. I'm just waiting for, I feel like once the case is over, I flip from this pretty fast just because it's been so long and nothing ever materialized that they thought would from this. So I'm not as worried about that. Like there'll be some people who will attack me over it, but people attack me over everything. On May 14th, 2025, counsel for Bonnell emailed plaintiff's counsel to inquire whether they would agree to accept service of a subpoena on behalf of their client, ABMC. Having received no response from plaintiff's counsel on May 16th, Bonnell's attorneys provided them with a notice of issuance of subpoena and a copy of the subpoena Bonnell issued to ABMC on May 15th, 2025. Thereafter, Bonnell's counsel arranged for a process server to serve the subpoena personally on ABMC at any of her publicly available addresses. Despite multiple attempts to serve ABMC with a subpoena, Bonnell was unable to serve her. On June 2nd, 2025, plaintiff belatedly filed her motion to file redacted evidence in support of the declaration of ABMC. Plaintiff sought to submit new purported evidence to bolster the ABMC declaration. Namely, a November 3rd, 2023 text message that ABMC supposedly sent to an unknown person stating, "I have videos of him fucking Cherry and Pixie like Limfeo. He just sent me another one, haven't opened it." Plaintiff contends that this text message directly corroborates the testimony of ABMC in her declaration. On June 3rd, 2025, the court held a hearing on plaintiff's motion for preliminary injunction. Despite that, counsel for plaintiff also represents ABMC. And despite that plaintiff relies on ABMC's critical testimony to establish subject matter jurisdiction, plaintiff failed to produce ABMC to testify at the hearing. Accordingly, Bonnell had no opportunity to cross-examine ABMC or otherwise test the statements in her declaration. On July 2nd, 2025, attorneys for Bonnell participated in a telephonic meet and confer conference with plaintiff's counsel, Joan Peters. During the conference, Bonnell's lawyer explained to Ms. Peters the difficulties they encountered in trying to serve her client, ABMC, with the subpoena issued on May 15th. Bonnell's attorneys again inquired whether Ms. Peters and her co-counsel still represented ABMC and whether they were authorized to accept service of the subpoena on her behalf. Ms. Peters indicated that she would speak with her client and revert. I think they're plotting and scheming here. They know that ABMC is probably mentally unwell. I think that they know that she's lying in her thing. I've gone through so much evidence of this. There's just what she's saying is a lie. And they haven't produced anything to show the contrary. I think they know this. They're just playing games at this point. Having received no response from Ms. Peters or her co-counsel, counsel for Bonnell emailed them a further inquiry on July 7th, 2025. On July 8th, 2025, Ms. Peters responded that she and her co-counsel were not authorized to accept service of the subpoena for ABMC. Accordingly, on July 8th, 2025, counsel for Bonnell requested ABMC's current contact information. To date, neither Ms. Peters nor her co-counsel, Mr. Garcia Perez, have responded to that request. Notwithstanding, this is months ago, 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. How is Abby able to so easily dodge subpoena? Nobody can find her? I don't know. She's like homeless. She just like drives around and visits people's houses or some shit right now. Notwithstanding Bonnell's inability to personally serve ABMC with the subpoena, and notwithstanding that Ms. Peters and her co-counsel continue to refuse to accept service of the subpoena on their client's behalf, ABMC has been well aware of the subpoena and the efforts to serve her. On July 24th, 2025, ABMC posted about the subpoena on her public account on the social media platform X, noting that the subpoena had some random address on it and she had not yet been served. ABMC has continued to comment online and elsewhere about her knowledge of the subpoena and suggested in at least one live-streamed interview that her attorneys advised her to continue to evade service of process and continue to submit evidence. Specifically, on or about September 8th, 2025, ABMC participated in a live-stream interview with a streamer known as Darius IRL. Among other things, ABMC stated during the live stream, "I am currently being subpoenaed by Destiny. I have seen the subpoena paperwork from my lawyers, but he, Bonnell, has not been able to officially serve me. Because they sent copies of it first, their lawyers send my lawyers the information." In response to a question about what her attorneys advised her to do, ABMC explained that they advised her to avoid it and avoid Bonnell, avoid everything, and keep submitting evidence. It's a pretty fucking insane fucking statement, but okay. Legal standard. Rule 12b1 authorizes dismissal where the court lacks subject matter jurisdiction. Jurisdictional challenges may be facial or factual. A facial attack on subject matter jurisdiction accepts the allegations in the complaint as true and tests only for the sufficiency. A factual attack, by contrast, challenges the existence of subject matter jurisdiction and permits the court to weigh the evidence outside the complaint, including affidavits and testimony. Critically, any factual attack on subject matter jurisdiction or presumptively truthful attaches to plaintiff's allegations. The court may resolve... Wait. And the court may resolve disputed facts. Oh, well, that's good. Holding that a district court may consider matters outside the pleadings when resolving a factual attack on subject matter jurisdiction, and that dismissal, not necessarily summary judgment, is the proper procedure when jurisdiction is lacking. Oh, so maybe they would consider outside of the complaint for a subject matter jurisdiction dismissal. Maybe because we're so deep into this case. We're supposed to be like how many months into discovery at this point? When a party challenges subject matter jurisdiction, the court is given the authority to resolve factual disputes, along with the discretion to devise a method for making a determination with regard to the jurisdictional issue. When resolving factual disputes underlying a Rule 12b1 motion, a court may consider oral evidence along with written, but an evidentiary hearing is not required. The burden rests with the plaintiff to establish subject matter jurisdiction. Once a federal court determines jurisdiction is lacking, the court is powerless to continue. When a sole transmission of the video to Rose fails to establish subject matter jurisdiction as a matter of law, plaintiff alleges the court has subject matter jurisdiction because her claims arise under the federal Cardi statute. Critically, Cardi took effect on October 1st, 2022. Cardi provides remedies for conduct occurring only as of the effective date of the statute. No such legislative intent for retroactive application exists here. Indeed, federal district courts have held that Cardi cannot be applied retroactively to conduct predating the effective date of the statute. In KT, the plaintiff sought to amend her complaint to add a claim under Cardi for conduct allegedly occurring in March and April of 2022. In opposition, the defendant asserted that Cardi did not go into effect until October 1st, and that because the newly alleged conduct occurred prior to the date, the Cardi claim could not lie as a matter of law. The court applied the holding on it, denied. This is all just about the date stuff. And also transmission of the video to Rose preceded the effective date of Cardi's statute by nearly 6 months. On the face of her first amended complaint, plaintiff has not alleged that Bonnell transmitted the video to Rose after Cardi went into effect. Instead, plaintiff retreats to ambiguity. She alleges only that the video was sent sometime in 2022, accompanied by a footnote stating that it cannot be conclusively determined whether the transmission to Rose occurred after October 1st, 2022. Plaintiff's contentions are demonstrably false. The evidentiary record, including leaked Discord communications, which have been long available to plaintiff, conclusively establishes that the video was transmitted in April 2022, nearly 6 months before Cardi took effect. The evidence shows that Rose's side of her communications with Bonnell was accessed and leaked by a third party with the screen name Solotiny Leaks, who, being located in Europe, downloaded the messages such that the timestamps are reflected in the standard European format of day, month, year. Accordingly, the following leaked screenshots from Rose's correspondence with Bonnell reflects that he transmitted the video to her on 10/04/22 or April 10th, 2022 at 1:36 a.m. These are dates. Indeed, a simple comparison of Rose's leaked screenshots on Bonnell's side. Oh, and then this shows like other dates, and then I guess these are both of our DMs. The additional leaked correspondence between Rose and Bonnell further confirms that Rose's communications are displayed in the European date format. After Bonnell transmitted the video to Rose in April 2022, the two continued to communicate on Discord, and those subsequent communications were also publicly posted online by Solotiny Leaks. For example, on April 14, 2022, Bonnell texted Rose just streaming, and that communication is date stamped 14/04/2022. The timestamp can only be read as April 14th, 2022, consistent with the European day, month, year format. This whole argument is so dumb. Like, they know this, but... The evidence thus confirms, and plaintiff cannot dispute, that Bonnell transmitted the video to Rose on a single occasion, nearly 6 months before Cardi took effect. Because the date of transmission to Rose precedes the effective date of the statute, that transmission provides no basis for subject matter jurisdiction. Plaintiff's theory of continuous ongoing disclosure fails as a matter of law. In an effort to evade the fatality of her claim based on Cardi's effective date, plaintiff's amended complaint reframes Bonnell's April 2022 transmission to Rose as supposedly having occurred through a Google Drive link and contends, without any legal or factual support, that such a transmission somehow constitutes an ongoing dissemination or continuous ongoing disclosure of the video, thereby establishing subject matter jurisdiction. Plaintiff's theory is contradicted by the evidence and, in any event, fails as a matter of law. As an individual matter, or as an initial matter, there's no evidence that Bonnell ever transmitted the video to Rose or anyone else via Google Drive. Indeed, the leaked screenshot of the transmission itself confirms that Bonnell sent the video to Rose in a private Discord chat via a Discord media file, not via a Google Drive link. The screenshot of Bonnell's transmission of the video to Rose depicts a black square representing a media file, not a Google Drive hyperlink. Indeed, as evidence from the November 29th, 2024 leak on Kiwi Farm's website, the original file name of the video appears as this file name, confirming that the video file was transferred directly through Discord as an attached .mp4 file and not transmitted via Google Drive link. Critically, however, even if the video had been shared by a Google Drive link, plaintiff's legal theory fails as a matter of law. Courts have rejected the proposition that privately shared, unindexed cloud links amount to public or continuous disclosure. In Ray v. Greenberg, the district court considered whether private material transmitted via Google Drive link to a third party could constitute an ongoing transmission of such material to the public. Spoiler alert, no. In a similar parallel case, the court expanded on its reasoning as applied. Spoiler alert, they said no here too. Here, even if Bonnell's transmission of the video to Rose occurred via Google Drive link, it did not. Such conduct cannot constitute a continuous transmission to the public as a matter of law. Plaintiff cannot present any legal authority to the contrary, nor is there any meaningful difference between a one-time file attachment and a one-time Google Drive link. In either case, Bonnell's sole transmission of the video to Rose cannot constitute a continuous ongoing disclosure as a matter of law. They took this whole legal theory literally from Kiwi Farms, by the way, but because this was their bright idea. Plaintiff's new allegations regarding ABMC are not consistent with the evidence and fail to establish subject matter jurisdiction. In her latest attempt to manufacture subject matter jurisdiction, plaintiff amended her complaint to allege that, at some unspecified time after March 2023, Bonnell sent the video to ABMC via Google Drive link. Plaintiff's new allegations are not only unsupported, but also directly contradicted by the evidentiary record. Moreover, plaintiff's reliance on ABMC's testimony to establish subject matter jurisdiction is particularly misplaced. ABMC has evaded service of a subpoena, failed to volunteer for a deposition, and declined to appear or testify at the June 3rd, 2025 evidentiary hearing. ABMC's refusal to produce evidence consistent with the allegations is fatal to plaintiff's claims. Plaintiff cannot meet her burden to establish subject matter jurisdiction, and the motion should be granted accordingly. The evidence establishes that Bonnell did not transmit the video to ABMC at any time. This is the rest of this. Plaintiff alleges that, we're on 14 out of 20. Plaintiff alleges that at some unspecified time after March 2023, Bonnell sent the video to ABMC via a Google Drive link, and that ABMC recognized the plaintiff in the video by her face and her hair. The evidentiary record, however, flatly contradicts these claims and confirms that Bonnell never transmitted the video to ABMC, nor has plaintiff produced any evidence to the contrary. To be clear, plaintiff bears the burden to prove the facts sufficient to establish subject matter jurisdiction. Here, plaintiff cannot meet her burden because the evidence demonstrates just the opposite of what she alleges in her amended complaint. Bonnell's preserved communication logs with ABMC conclusively establish that he never transmitted the video to her at any time. These logs capture every media file Bonnell ever transmitted to ABMC, and none contain the video depicting plaintiff. The original file name of the video, vid blah, 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 was revealed when Solo Tiny Leaks uploaded it to the Kiwi Farms website without authorization. By contrast, the files Bonnell sent to ABMC bear entirely different file names, none of which correspond to the file name of plaintiff's video. Further, each of the media files Bonnell sent to ABMC contain embedded date stamps indicating the date on which the original file was created. There's this. These date stamped file names confirm that each of the media files Bonnell sent to ABMC were created in 2023, unlike the video depicting plaintiff, which by plaintiff's own sworn testimony was created in 2020. The evidence also establishes that Bonnell did transmit the video to ABMC via Google Drive. Bonnell sent ABMC only 2 Google Drive links on November 3rd, 2023. The contents of these links contain videos of Destiny or Bonnell with another woman with the screen name blah blah, and they do not depict plaintiff. In fact, she herself contained that these same files bearing the same unique Google Drive URLs that Bonnell sent to ABMC depicted her and not plaintiff, exclaiming, "Oh my God, oh that's me." In contemporaneous communications with Bonnell. In those same communications, Peach consented to and even further encouraged. Okay. Notably, on or about September 5th, 2023, not Pichu. Stop. Notably, on or about September 5th, 2023, ABMC visited Bonnell at his home. Sometime that afternoon, Bonnell temporarily left his home and permitted ABMC to stay there while she waited for her flight that evening. Unbeknownst to Bonnell at the time, ABMC began snooping around his house and studio, taking videos and photographs of his possessions. She then sent a photograph of Bonnell's desktop computer to her friend Darius with the message, "Major leaks probably." Without Bonnell's knowledge, ABMC had access to his computer and was able to view private files directly from his desktop. To the extent that ABMC claims to have seen the video depicting plaintiff, she could have only done so while snooping through Bonnell's computer, not because Bonnell ever transmitted the video to her. That's Exhibit G. Oh. It's a pretty crazy picture. Jesus fucking Christ. Major leaks, probably. The ABMC declaration and accompanying exhibit failed to support, let alone prove, subject matter jurisdiction. Plaintiff contends that the ABMC declaration establishes the video was transmitted to ABMC, but it does no such thing. Instead of providing evidence of the alleged transmission, e.g. a screenshot of a message in which Bonnell supposedly sent the video to ABMC, plaintiff relies on a single self-serving text message from ABMC to an unknown third party, dated November 3rd, 2023, wherein Abby writes, "I have videos of him fucking Jerry and Pixie like Limfeo. He just sent me another one. Haven't opened it." The unauthenticated exhibit does not come close to establishing that Bonnell transmitted the video of plaintiff at all, let alone that he transmitted the video at any time after the effective date of the Cardi statute. Plaintiff could have submitted proof of such a transmission, yet she has not done so, and for good reason, it never happened. Again, in the hearing, they admitted that they said that Abby never showed them proof that she'd received anything like that from me because she hasn't, and so she couldn't show that. But at most, the proffered ABMC declaration and accompanying exhibit constitutes inadmissible hearsay, i.e. an out-of-court statement offered to prove that Bonnell transmitted a video of plaintiff after the Cardi statute went into effect. ABMC does not submit any actual evidence of such a transmission, but instead submits a text message that she sent wherein she claims she received a video of plaintiff from an unknown person and at an unknown time. The ABMC declaration and accompanying exhibit should be disregarded accordingly. ABMC refuses to comply with a subpoena, and plaintiff's counsel refuses to provide contact info for their star witness. While plaintiff's sole remaining basis for subject matter jurisdiction relies on the uncorroborated and untested declaration of Abby MC, plaintiff and her counsel allegedly have obstructed Bunnell's access to their star witness for nearly 5 months, depriving Bunnell of the opportunity to cross-examine Abby MC about the false statements in her declaration and other public statements she has made about Bunnell and this lawsuit. Despite that, Abby MC is on notice of and in possession of the subpoena. She continues to dodge service and failed to appear to testify at the June 3rd, 2025 evidentiary hearing. As Abby MC continues to evade service, she has commented online and elsewhere about being aware of the subpoena and recently suggested in a live stream on September 8th, 2025, that her attorneys advised her to continue to evade service of process. Specifically, on or about September 8th, Abby MC participated in a live stream with the streamer Darius IRL, wherein she stated her attorneys advised her to continue to evade service of process and continue to submit evidence. Plaintiff and her counsel should not be rewarded for obstructing Bunnell's access to Abby MC, an individual they identified in their Rule 26A initial disclosures. Counsel for plaintiff and Abby MC have refused to accept service on behalf of Abby MC, as required under the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Abby MC's uncorroborated and untested declaration should be disregarded accordingly. Is it legal for our lawyers to recommend just ignoring a subpoena? I think they've done a bunch of deplorable, horrible, disgusting behavior here, but the court should not exercise supplemental jurisdiction over plaintiff's remaining state claims. The remainder of plaintiff's claims are state law claims only. Federal law is clear that if the root federal claims are dismissed before trial, the court should decline to exercise supplemental jurisdiction over the remaining state law claims. Here, plaintiff's remaining claims raise no federal question, and no diversity jurisdiction exists between the parties, because we both live in Florida. Courts counts 2 through 4 arise exclusively under Florida statutory and/or common law and should be dismissed accordingly. Nice. Fun times. Yeah, can't wait to see their response to this. Oh boy. When are we going to hear the judge's rulings on this motion? I don't know. Whenever they get to it. I wouldn't say this because you don't want to look like you're witness tampering, but I would try to get Abby's lawyers disbarred for the advice they gave her. I think that's up to my lawyer. I don't know if they do stuff like that or they care about that, but yeah. I think there's like so many horrible things that I would say constitute malpractice, but what do I know? Like one of the things is supposedly from leaked logs, like Abby wanted to reach out and deal with me directly to settle some, I guess, disagreement that we have. But since Abby is being technically kind of sort of represented by the same lawyers, that would be impossible for Abby MC to ever reach any kind of agreement with me on anything, which I need to stop hedging, is a massive conflict of interest. Since it seems like even emotionally, they're attached to the Pixie Jane Doe in this lawsuit, that their interest is always going to be in her favor, sometimes to the severe, I would argue, to the severe detriment of other people in this case who maybe could be represented by separate representation. Like I think it's a massive unethical conflict of interest for the same lawyers to try to. They represented Abby at one point and then they stopped. I don't know what was going on. Yeah, but. Could it be that the case will be dismissed and the transcript will never be made public? I have no idea how that would work. Why is the transcript still not unsealed? Well, it's temporarily sealed, waiting for them to rule on it, and it just hasn't been ruled on yet. I think ordinarily, like, cases are just not this busy. Like, this is like a fuck ton of shit spam for something that's like, I don't mean to sound mean, but like probably not important to the court, given all the other stuff they deal with. Like I said before, maybe it's not fair to compare like a totally different type of action. Fuck. Was this the big copyright case? Was it with Triller Fight Club? This case spanned 3 years? About? 3.5 years? And they had 83 items on their docket by the end of the case. My case is going on for, 7 months, I think? And we're up to 132 items. They file so many motions. They file so much shit. It's just so unbelievable, like how much busy work. And I don't even know where Pixie gets the money for all the paperwork these guys file. Do I have lawyers and shit? Am I allowed to talk about like upcoming motions, or is that considered like not stuff that you're allowed to talk about? Is there like some agreement there? Just the next one. I don't know if they'll actually go through the next one. If they do, it'll be a fucking doozy. Literally like fucking Israel-Palestine tier doozy. But we'll see. One thing that concerned me was the judge stating both sides are throwing the kitchen sink at each other in his latest ruling. Makes me think he doesn't think it's just one side fucking around. My guess is he hasn't read through all the motions. I think he just said the proverbial kitchen sink. Like I said, I wish I could read the hearing. I think the hearing went really well for us. And the fact that he invited us to file a motion to dismiss, maybe that's good. Like I like that he invited us to file that. So who knows? We'll see. They just straight copy and paste from KF. There's literally zero effort required. Probably living off of donos from the legal fund. She only got 50K though, right? Dude, once this case is over, I'm gonna push. She needs to publicly post receipts, okay, to make sure that she actually spent that money on legal shit. Because I don't believe it right now. Abby, I'm seeing Darius stream. What? This is already in the filings. How old is this?
People were telling me that you didn't show up for a court date with Destiny or something.
Oh, we already saw this, right?
I was never summoned for a court date, and this is not true. No, my lawyers would notify me. I've been in contact with my lawyers as of today. No, there was no court date, and no, this is absolutely false.
Okay.
I'll address that now. No, there was no court date for me to show to. No.
I mean, this is true. There wasn't like a particular summons for this court date. If you cared about winning this case, because you were like doing this case in good faith, though, you would have probably wanted her at that hearing. Actually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't even get. You absolutely would have wanted her at that hearing, because this was the hearing for the preliminary injunction, right? When you're asking for a preliminary injunction, you're telling the court, hey, there's an exceptional matter, and I need you to take preliminary action on this before the case is even finished. Can you please enjoin the defendant, stop him from engaging in some behavior that's causing me like irreparable harm? Why would you not want to bring the most important witness to your case to bolster, your preliminary injunction request? The answer is because it's all fucking memes to these people. That's why they filed their temporary restraining order like 2 months after the case was initially filed, which makes no sense at all. And it was dismissed because of that. They said it was stale. It's like, why? Let me get a Red Bull. She's clearly schizo. If you listen to the whole stream, she's in like 4 court cases. There's like a part of me that is buried very deep right now because of how incredibly ass pained I am over this whole like waste of a year of my life. But like, there's a part of me that genuinely feels bad for Abby. I don't know if this is true or not. I just see people talk shit in Discord servers, but some people I've seen say that like after that car accident, she's like legitimately brain damaged, that like something got fucked in her head. I would say, I don't know if Darius has an opinion on this. I don't think when she was here, I don't feel like she was ever crazy, although they never seemed crazy in the beginning. And then when I saw her on Darius's streams initially, she seemed like, it seemed like the meme was that she was kind of like the straight man, or she was kind of like sane in the background while Darius was just kind of like crazy. At least from any of the streams I ever saw them interacting with each other, that's what it always seemed like. Like she never seemed crazy on any of those streams ever. But then, yeah, after this, where she's talked about suing like 7 different fucking people, right? Like Ice Poseidon and a bunch of CX people and her ex and all these other people. It's like, are they using a mentally ill woman? I would say so, 100%. Yeah, she seems like something is like really, like, does anybody have a link? She has like a GoFundMe for like 7 different cases right now, right? Oh yeah, and she posted that picture saying she had like a brain bleed or whatever recently. Why did she try and sue Ice Poseidon? I don't know. She's saying like every guy that she's ever been with like sexually assaulted her or something. Link the GoFundMe so it doesn't sound like I'm just talking shit. I'm not just making this up. Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to find it. I don't know where it was. Wait, is this a different one? I don't even know if I've clicked this one before. I have been silenced and I know why. It is not acceptable for a victim to be unable to crowdfund during an emergency. This should have not been legal. I have seen many campaigns with credible evidence as mine. I will be starting yet another one with more information. Wait, does she just keep making new ones? She has like 4 GoFundMes. The original she took down. So what do we do, Destiny, when MAGA gets X and TikTok? We need the center-left space to come back, okay? It's coming back, though, maybe. Where's that one stupid thing? Fuck. I'm not gonna be able to find this. What was this meme? It's like a white woman, and she goes to the white dude. And she's like, we need you guys back. And the guy's like, stop assuming I'm homophobic or racist if I just say a thing. What am I thinking of? The one in the woods, yes. The guy had like an axe. He was just like chopping a random piece of wood or something. What is this? Is this the Abbey? Or is this like random shit? Oh, it is. Jesus Christ, bro, is she like schizo? Wait, what the fuck? Fuck me, dude. This is my life. Jesus Christ. She's so disgusting. I can't believe that Jane Doe is actually so unreal to me. Jesus, whatever.
Young boys are turning conservative. We need you to influence them. Straight, white, left-leaning millennial man.
I thought I was supposed to take a back seat so that more marginalized voices could be heard.
Okay, yeah. What do you want?
I want immunity. I want to say things are gay and retarded, and I want to make jokes, and if I make a joke, I want you to think about what the joke actually means instead of getting scared of the words.
Okay, you got a deal.
I'm not finished. I want you to stop using the word mansplain and stop comparing men to bears.
Anything else?
Louis C.K. He's my favorite, and he has good things to say. What's that sound? Is that the Department of Education being defunded?
Okay.
Oof, that already happened. That's already gone. Yikes. That was the sound. He heard it. How did he hear that?
Okay, people can
It's gone, right? The DOE is gone now?
what they want to like, and we'll stop using our perceived moral superiority to be cruel to others.
Cool.
What are you doing out here anyway?
I was just pretending to chop wood.
I think XQC saw that Abby video too. Yes, Destiny, but the question is, are you done with BPD girls? This is the thing. I've been done with BPD girls for years. All of this comes from a 2022 conversation about a video recorded in 2020 that leaked at the end of 2024, and then it's the subject matter of a lawsuit in 2025. This is my life. Then why are you with half of chat's moms? Because my chat's moms are not BPD girls, ever. Bro, what is this? This one is actually about her
I'm a survivor
lawsuits.
seeking help to reclaim my safety.
I was about to ban you because I thought you were linking me something. Wait, what the fuck is this? Wait, does she have a whole crazy YouTube channel?
I'm a survivor seeking help to reclaim my safety. I'm facing ongoing threats and emotional turmoil from abuse. Your support can help me find safety and legal aid now. Help me find safety. Donate now.
videos because
We're here in Brooklyn, New York. I flew here from Toronto. But hey,
Okay, I don't even know. Whatever. Queens.
That happened. That happened in the crypto. For you, I understand this can be very difficult because that money normally can help you for a lot of things in your life. But it's not.
I think this is not good since the person in the lawsuit is ABMC, and I have no idea who the person you're showing is, but it seems like it might break her DOE status. Well, she's already publicized all of her. She's gone on streams and talked about this publicly. This is another reason why it's annoying, and they tried to sanction me for talking about the transfer. Whatever. It's so annoying that they're like abusing all the the DOE statuses and the ceilings for this, because all of these people are so incredibly public about their relationships with me and their participation in this case. Like I said, if you go through and you read any of the cases on these types of lawsuits, like Jane Doe's file is Jane Doe's because they don't want to be known as having had like revenge porn and shit like them. They don't want to be identified. They don't want it to like bleed over into their life. Yeah, it's just cringe. Those women aren't cringe. It's cringe how Pixie's like abusing this Jane Doe status for her case just to see if they can like win some easy motions on me.
But it's not the end, okay? You're such a brave person.
I'm broken. No,
No.
I'm sorry, guys.
Were they successful with getting you sanctioned? It's still a motion before the court. I doubt it. That would be wild. They asked to pay some of her court fees. They asked for a $10,000 fine. It was insane. And they filed this as like an emergency motion. The funniest thing that these guys do, I think I can talk about this because it's in the evidentiary record, is they'll like email my legal team and they'll be like, Andrew, we need to have a meet and confer within 6 hours or we're filing a motion. It's like, excuse me, can you chill? Like what? Jesus Christ. Like they want to file these things like people are dying. Like it's like an emergency. It's like, excuse me, calm the fuck, 6 hours. Bro, you're emailing me at like 5 o'clock Pacific, chill. Stop. Streamer gets scammed out of their cancer treatment funds worth approximately $30,000 after downloading a Steam game which contained malware. Is that possible? I'm trying to think. Does Steam do any checks for... If you download a game on Steam, does it have access to every file on your computer? Or is it in some kind of like container sandbox environment? I have no idea. It's not sandboxed. It's possible Destiny, but the whole story is sus as fucked. Steam but does barely any checking? I feel like if Steam didn't do any checking, I feel like it would be way more common that shit would get fucked, no? Wait, this did have malware. Seem to be... Staff have flagged this app as suspicious and may be malicious or impersonating another product. How can they not do any checks on programs that are closed source? That seems kind of weird, no? Like, I feel like this would come up way more often. Steam does checking 100%, but you can't protect from 0 days. Is this some kind of 0-day exploit, or is it just like reading information off of like files in your computer and shooting them to some other person online? like you don't need like 0 days. I think are what you get in order to execute malicious code on a target system. If you can just execute malicious code on a target system, you don't need 0 days at that point. You just need a fucking internet connection in some way and some server to receive information from. No, like. I say that half knowing. Like maybe Steam containerizes it or does something somehow. Install that game. Behaste. Find sketchy Steam game. Download it. Find shitty bat. Open it. Find hard-coded Telegram creds. Get everything. Pull infra and all logs. Dog, you gotta write better malware. It took less than 30 minutes, bro. You gotta lock in. Wait, is this the guy who stole it? Get everything. Wait a second. Is this like Oh, wait. Did this guy download the Steam game or download some malware, open the bat file, the Telegram credentials are hard-coded into the file, he logged into the Telegram, and then he just stole everything, and then... I don't know what infra means here. Infrastructure? Infra, like the... Okay. Destiny, you were right. Malware most likely stole a session token from their funds account. I mean, like, even like stealing session tokens and stuff, I don't even know if you would have to do that at that point. Like, if you're, like, if you have the ability to run like an admin privileged executable on another person's computer, like, I think you can just whatever is on the screen, whatever the person types in, whatever exists in any file system that's not like encrypted. Well, it can even be encrypted if you've already unlocked it. Like, you just have access to, like, you're like fucked. Like, you're so fucked at that point. Like, token, like session hijacking and all that shit is stuff that you have to do in lieu of, not in lieu of, well, you just never, I just don't think you never really get, you should never really get access to a person's box like this where you just run like an admin level executable, because at that point you basically just have everything. The person can fucking fuck your ass at night while you're sleeping. I don't know if that's what happened here, but. Just a note, I cannot verify the legitimacy of the claims. Please approach with caution and skepticism whenever it comes to anything crypto related. This guy, was it? So is the story true? He really lost $30,000 for a cancer treatment? That's not, I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm sorry. This. It's Windows. You need admin perms for fucking everything. This is why security people hate it. Is it not possible when you do a for a game? Do you really need? Why can't you just? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Why the fuck am I saying anything? Like, I don't know why you would need access to anything outside of the program folder and then outside of the like save game folder, but you would need access to, I guess, libraries for. Would you? Do you? I have no idea. Did you see Peter's review of your lab leak debate? Not yet. Anti-cheat is a big thing, but many system libraries like DX11 are outside of the game folder, if I recall. Yeah, but is that really where, when people steal shit like this, are they really swimming through your memory to look for stuff, or are they just reading files off your computer file system? Starwolf made the case for lab leak on Destiny show. I don't have time to do my parts. Oh, I should add this. I need to finish writing this eventually. Fuck me, dude. This and this. Yeah, but many games need to do that. There's no set save game location on Windows, so it's standard to basically just let them access whatever so they can handle their own save system. Like, I don't know anything about security, but like that sounds like a nightmare to me. That sounds like the worst thing ever, no? Like, why wouldn't you be able to create like a user profile on Windows for like video game installs, and that user profile only has access to like the user/document/game saves file or like directory? Like, you would just have a separate, like a video game user, and then you would have the is it UAC, user access controls or whatever, and you would just have video games install under that user. They wouldn't have access to any other part of the file system. That seems like it would be, that's how I would imagine you would set it up, no? No, that's false. They save in documents and nothing secure goes to documents. App data folder requires admin access. Destiny is retarded, and every time Microsoft tries to fix it, everyone refuses to use the new thing because it's a pain to deal with permissions. True, I guess. When I was trying to use, oh God, what was it? When I was trying to figure out how to transfer files over the internet, and then I realized that you just can't do that anymore as a consumer, and you have to use Dropbox or fucking Google Drive. There were a couple programs that I tried using, and learning how to set up like user access controls and everything on Windows was fucking AIDS cancer. Actual AIDS cancer. Holy shit. Is this real?
But the main thing about Charlie and his message, he was bringing the gospel to the country. He was doing the thing that the people in charge hate most, which is calling for them to repent.
You can use rsync to transfer files from server to server as a means of copying them. I don't remember what program I was using. The issue that I ran into was that a long time ago, they tried to build like an internet that you could like, so you could send files to people and do things all across the internet. And then as the internet grew and way more data was being transferred from person to person, and now you just have like your high tier peering that allows for super fast transfer of files, and like the people that have preferential peering, all of that are basically like your Google and your Dropbox and your Azure or whatever, or Azure and all that bullshit. And if you're trying to send like a gigabyte file to somebody on the internet, and you can't unless you're going through one of these like optimally peered servers, you're just fucked. Destiny wrong. I guarantee you, unless you literally work as like a fucking data engineer. Actually, not even, actually, fuck you. I know I've looked into this more than you. Fuck you. I'm not going down this whole road again. I fought with this shit for like a month to try to figure out like how to set this shit up and how to work it. And it took me so long to come to the realization that, oh, you just can't transfer internet. You can't transfer files that quickly across the internet, like across the country. You just have to be peered through like your Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever else. Otherwise your speeds are never going to be better than like fucking 50 to 100 megabits per second.
So how is Charlie's message different? And Charlie was a political person who was deeply interested in coalition building and in getting the right people in office because he knew that vast improvements are possible politically. But he also knew that politics is not the final answer. It can't answer the deepest questions, actually.
Hey, I watch you on YouTube. I've been wondering if that stuff was recent or some old shit. Thanks for clarifying. Oh, for my court case, all of this shit is like years old. Everybody keeps thinking there's like more and more like sex scandals and crazy things pop up, but all of this is just related to one conversation in 2022 about a video made in 2020 that was, now it's being litigated because I have wonderful friends.
That the only real solution...
If you set up an FTP server, is it still that bad? What is throttling the connection? It's nothing that's throttling your connection. It's just the idea of being able to send sustained like 500 plus megabit per second of data from one computer to another across the internet is just, the infrastructure is just not built for that level of traffic. You have to be going through, like, people who have like Google or Amazon, like the way that I guess it's their CDN or whatever is set up is, and the peering is set up, is they're transferring from like plant to plant or data center to data center. So the lines are thick and girthy, and they're meant to be sending all that data. But if you're trying to transfer like huge projects to other people across the country, if you're not doing it on Dropbox or Google Drive and you're just trying to like send a file via any other number of things, then you're just not going to have the bandwidth for it. It's going to be like 50 to 100 megabits per second, tops. You try torrent protocol. It's not a protocol thing. It doesn't matter what protocol you use. It doesn't matter. Nothing helps. No offense, but you do realize your experience is often like 5 to 15 years old. This experience is like 1.5 years old. I was doing, this was when I was building my studio downstairs and I was trying to figure out how to sync every time we'd film an episode, it'd be like 1 to 1.5 terabytes a project to send to my editors.
Is Jesus.
Why do you hate Google Drive? Google Drive doesn't advertise it, but Google Drive has a hidden 750 megabyte per day transfer limit. And when you hit that, then they rate limit you, and then you can't access or use any part of your Google Drive at all. So that's why Google Drive didn't end up working. And then I had to switch to Dropbox.
These questions, actually. That the only real solution is Jesus. And the reason, it's really simple. Politics, at its core, is a process of critiquing other people and getting them to change. Christianity.
I think people are confused because big companies can do it, but as an individual, you would not be able to do it. People who say you can don't have that experience. Well, big companies can do it because they probably have preferential peering or direct access to or connections to like these plants or to ISPs or whatever data centers that are set up to do this kind of stuff.
Christianity, the gospel message, the message of Jesus, begins with repentance. Christianity calls upon you to change. Our core prayer given to us by Jesus, the Lord's Prayer, demands that we forgive other people, but preceding that is a request for our forgiveness. In other words, forgive us our sins, meditate on what we've done wrong, how we've fallen short, and then it becomes possible to forgive other people. That is a call to change our hearts from Jesus, and that is the only way forward in this country.
You considered self-hosting via Kubernetes containers. Yes. I deploy them daily. I don't even know what those are. I just know they're from the meme video.
That is the only solution to where we all know we're going. And Charlie knew where we were going without that. And that is not a call for being politically passive. Of course not. I stood in many stages with Charlie calling for various people to be elected, particularly Donald Trump. And I'm proud of that. It's only an acknowledgement that what Charlie was really saying is that change begins.
Urge your Democratic, if nothing changes, are you going to vote no and urge your Democratic colleagues to vote no, which will end with the shutdown?
Look, we hope it doesn't come to that.
But what if it does?
Because everyone knows the American people are on our side, Dana. By almost 2 to 1, they believe if there's a shutdown, it's going to be caused by Trump, because they know how much they want relief in the health care issue, and they know he's not negotiating. So it's up to them, and I hope and pray that Trump will sit down with us and negotiate a bipartisan bill. That's how it's always been done in the past. That's how shutdowns have been avoided in the past.
And if he doesn't, I'm just confirming here, you will vote no. Is that correct?
We are hoping, Dana, that he will negotiate with us.
And if he
doesn't? So far he hasn't. And
why not just say that no, we won't? Why not just take a strong stand here for once in your fucking life?
We've had 2 bills in the House and Senate, and neither of them have passed. Our Democrats are firm. We need to get something done to relieve the distress the American people are in.
No, fuck you and fuck the American people. The American people supposedly don't feel anything. They don't care about the tariffs. They don't care about whatever the fuck else. What are you giving into? This is their Congress. This is their presidency. Make them fucking do something.
Relieve the distress the American people are in.
Okay, that sounded like a yes, but you can confirm that, and then I want to move on.
Hold on.
Is that accurate?
Yeah. The bottom line is we must get a better bill than what they have.
The last time.
No bombs here. Yep, just another day. Yep. This is your guys, though, okay? Remember that. They show up, the cops show up, and they start killing you guys. That's the MAGA ones, okay? Don't let them forget that, all right? I'm just saying. All right, okay. We'll go back to streaming, okay? All right, I love you too. Bye. Jesus. Was that my dad? Somebody called in bomb threats today to my apartment in my parents' house. I don't know if they intentionally targeted my parents or if they just had the same name. Some white trash redneck sounding guy left me a voicemail saying that he was doing some shit, but the address that he gave, I think, was my parents, so I don't fucking know. Or no, actually, I don't even think it was. I think it was an older address that I had. Do I still have this fucking voicemail? I hate navigating on phones. I'm so fucking retarded. I can't do it. This guy? Who is this fucking dude?
Trying to get in touch with Destiny, aka Stephen Kenneth Bonnell from Homestead, Florida.
Oh.
You put a lot of threatening stuff. If this is you, you know, you want us conservatives to be afraid of you. need to understand, pal, you're not that hard to find. And your information has been turned over to the Homestead Police Department as well as the Homestead FBI Department. So your mouth may have cost you.
Thanks, buddy.